Myself, Prabha K, Assistant Professor, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, Sai Vidya Institute of Technology, Bangalore. Good morning to all. Today we'll discuss about addressing modes of computer organization and architecture subject. Addressing modes. The different ways in which the location of an operand can be specified in an instruction is referred as addressing modes. We know already that instruction consists of two parts, opcode and operands. Operand can be placed either in one of the processor register or in the memory. There are different ways to get this operand, and the way in which the operand is taken from the register or from the memory is named as addressing mode. Now, what are the types of addressing modes? Totally, we have 10 types of addressing modes in this computer organization and architecture subject. First, immediate addressing mode. Second one, register addressing mode. Absolute or direct addressing mode. Indirect addressing mode. Fifth one, index addressing mode. Next, base with index addressing mode. Base with index and offset addressing mode. Relative addressing mode. Auto increment addressing mode, and the last one is auto decrement addressing modes. So today we'll discuss about all these addressing modes. Now before going into the types of the addressing mode, just have a brief information about a variable and constants. We already know that variables and constants are simple data types. A variable is named memory location which temporarily stores the data that can change while the program is running. The value of the data can change while the program is running. That's why it is called as variable. The type of variable indicates what kind of value it will store. A constant is named memory location which temporarily stores the data that remains the same throughout the execution of the program. So in an assembly language, a variable is represented by allocating a register or a memory location to hold its value. There are different types of modes of addressing are used to access these variables. Coming to the first type of addressing mode, immediate addressing mode. In this, the operand is specified within the instruction. You can check out the instruction format here. The instruction format basically consists of opcode and operands. Opcode tells about what operation has to be performed by the processor, and there are two operands depending upon the type of the instruction, or it may be 3 operand, or it may be 1 operand, or there is a no operand depending upon the type of the instruction. Here in this, in immediate addressing mode, the first operand can be any register and second operand will be compulsorily an immediate data that we want to load into the any of the register of the processor. The operand itself is provided in the instruction rather than in its address. So what data we want to store into the register or what data we want to operate on it, that will be directly mentioned in the instruction. Here I have taken an example of move immediate. I have used the instruction move a comma hash 15h. Here 15h is an hexadecimal data is moved to the register called as A, and hash indicates, the hash sign indicates always whatever the data is given here, it is an immediate data, and h indicates it is in hexadecimal. Another example I can take add immediate instruction. I am using here add a comma hash 3eh, where the content of A is added with an immediate data 3eh, and the result is stored back onto the register A. Here, as I told, the hash sign indicates the value that is used as an immediate operand. Now, coming to the next one, it is an register addressing mode. In this register addressing mode, the instruction format consists of opcode and operand 1 and operand 2. Here I am using both the operand as a registers, and the register will have a data into it. The operand is specified within one of the processor register. It is very clear from the instruction format. The operand is specified within one of the processor register. Instruction specifies the register name in which the operand is stored. The instruction will include a register name, either R0, R1, R2, A, B, depending upon the type of the processor. So this instruction specifies the register name in which the operand is stored. I have taken example of move R0, R1. Here R0 is a register, R1 is a register. The entire instruction comes under the register addressing mode. Here, what is the operation performed? The content of R1 is transferred to the R0. So I am considering R1 as a source operand and R0 as a destination operand. So whatever the content of R1, it is moved to the R5 after execution of this instruction. Another instruction I have taken here, add R3, R2. The content of R3 and R2 are added and the result is stored back onto the R3. You can make with a pictorial analysis. The content of R2 is brought to the ALU. The content of R3 is brought to the ALU. Addition operation is carried out and the result is stored back onto the R3. Here R1, R2 and R3 are register which are specified as an operand in the instruction. Next, absolute or a direct addressing mode. It is also called as just direct addressing mode. Here, the operand is in the memory. The operand is in a memory location. Here, the operand means the data. The data will be in a memory location, and the address of that memory location has been specified in the instruction. The instruction specifies the direct address of the operand. So in the instruction, the direct address of the memory location where actually the data is present is specified. That's why it is called as direct addressing mode. The memory address is specified where actually our operand has been stored. I've taken an example here. Move LOCA, R1. LOCA is a symbolic name given to the memory location. Another example I have taken, move R4, LOCA2. See, LOCA2 is also another symbolic name which has been used to represent one of the memory location. And R1, R4 are the internal registers of the particular processor. Just analyze the first instruction, move LOCA, R1. Consider a memory location. In this memory location, the symbolical name of LOCA consists of a content 55. So after execution of this instruction, the content of memory location LOCA is moved to the R1 register. Similarly, consider the second instruction. Consider a memory location where we want to store the content of R4. So the content of R4 from the processor, that is 66, is moved to the memory location LOCA2. This is how actually the direct addressing mode has been used in a particular instructions. Now, so coming to the next type of addressing mode, that is a indirect addressing mode. Before going to that, just have a small information about the indirection and the pointers. In indirect mode, the instruction does not give the operand or its address explicitly. Instead, it provides the information from which the memory address or the operand can be determined, and this information we call it as effective address of the operand. So in the indirect mode, the instruction will not give the operand or its address, but it will have a certain information. With the help of that information, the memory address of the operand can be determined, and that address we call it as effective address of the operand. The effective address of the operand is the content of the register or a memory location whose address appears in the instruction. Here what they're telling, the effective address is represented in the instruction as the content of the register or a memory location. Okay, so in this instruction contains only the effective address where the operand is situated. The register or a memory location that contains the address of the operand is called as pointers or a pointer register. So register or a memory location which actually contains this effective address of a particular operand is called as pointers or a pointer register. Indirection and the use of pointers are the two powerful and important concepts in the programming. So coming to the indirect addressing mode. So coming to the register indirect addressing mode. Here the instruction specifies the register in which the memory address of the operand is placed. So it do not specify the operand itself, but it is a location within the memory where the operand is placed. As I told already, the indirect mode, in indirect mode, the instruction does not give the operand or any address, but it gives an information about the memory of the operand, and this information we call it as effective address. The effective address of the operand is the content of the register or memory location whose address appears in the instruction. I have taken example of move R0, R1. Here the R1 has been specified in the square bracket, indicating that the content of R1 is the part of the memory address. The content of the R1 is part of the memory address. So whatever the content of R1 is act as effective address in this example. R1 represents the effective address of the memory location. Consider a memory location where some of the data has been stored in the memory location. Each memory will be addressed by a physical address, which is a combination of base address and effective address. Considering the first memory physical address is 000, which is a combination of base address and the effective address. Similarly, you can check it out here. The effective address goes on varies, but the physical address remains, base address remains same. Now, assuming that from one of the memory location the data has to be moved, that is from assuming that we want to move the data from the memory location whose effective address is 0006, that value should be stored in R1. Then I can write instruction move R0, R1 in square bracket. R1 in square bracket, that is the value is 0006, indicates the memory effective address of the memory location. From this memory location, the content R5 has moved to the content 55 has moved to the R0. The similar thing with the instruction format. The instruction format for this instruction this type of addressing mode will be consisting an opcode, operand 1 and operand 2. Opcode, you know already, it is an operation code. Any operation code it can be. Operand 1 will be a register and operand 2 will be a register address. The vice versa is also true. Here with this example, the move R0, R1, the operand 1 is a register R0 and the operand 2 is a register address stored in the register R1. Now, the operand 1 represents the register and operand 2 represent the address of the memory location. We call it as effective address. With the help of that, the particular memory is identified and accessed, and from that particular memory location, the data is transferred to the register whose name has been mentioned as an operand 1. So it is very much clear here. Using operand 2, the effective address is identified. From that memory location, the data is transferred to the register which has been mentioned in the operand 1 position. Coming to the next addressing mode, But before that, just have a brief information about the indexing and arrays. As we know already, array of the data structure is consisting of a collection of elements. It is a collection of elements or a values or a variables, and each is identified at least by one array index or one array key. The memory address of the first element of the array is called as a first address or a foundation address or a base address. So in the index mode of addressing, this is very useful for the list and arrays. In this mode, the effective address of the operand is generated by adding a constant value to the content of the register. This name of the register will be mentioned in the instruction. And this constant value depends upon the programmer whether he has to mention or not, depending upon which memory location he wants to access. The register may be either a special register provided for this purpose, or it can be any common general purpose register. If it is a dedicated register, we can call it as an index register and usually represented as RI. For index mode, the symbolic representation with a constant value can be given as X with X of RI, where X denotes the constant value present in the instruction and RI represents the effective address. Then RI represent the index register. Then effective address can be obtained by adding the constant value with the content of index register. Index addressing mode. In index addressing mode, the content of index register is added to the address part of the instruction to obtain the effective address. The address part of the instruction holds the beginning or a base address and it is called as the base. Index register holds the index value and which is always positive. And base remains same, whereas the index goes on changes. When the base is added to the index register, resultant number in the is the memory location where actually our operand is placed. With the pictorial analyzation, we can make out very easily. Consider an example. Add 20 into R1 in square bracket, comma R2. This is the instruction that we are going to use it. So consider an example. Add 20 into R1 in square bracket, comma R2. Here R1 is represented in square bracket, represent a part of the memory address. Now, in the instruction format, we can make out very easily. There is an opcode. Operand 1 is a combination of index register and the constant value. So here, with this example, the operand 1 will take the value of 20 and R1. Then operand 2 is a register according to this example. So content of this index register, we call it as a pointer address, is added with the constant value and the effective address is obtained, which is the part which is the address of the memory location, and the data from that memory location is accessed and added to the content of the another register which is a part of the instruction. Now, just we take an example with a memory analyzation. There are two ways of using the index mode. I'll consider R1 as an index register. I'll consider the R1 index register with the value as 1000. Then X defines the offset value and it's called as a displacement value also. Same example I'll consider. Add 20 R1 in square bracket, comma R2. Now the effective address is obtained by adding content of R1 with a constant value 20. So here according to this example it is 1020. So in the 1020 memory location is accessed and it is brought to the ALU and added with the content of R2 and the result is stored in the R2. After the execution we can make out R2. Previously it was having the CC which is added to the effective address content, that is a 1020 content is BB. So when you add this CC plus BB, we'll get 187 in hexa. This is a simple example. Here we can make out both the code memory and the data memory. The code memory is one where actually our instructions are stored. Depending upon the size of the instructions, number of memory locations are used. And here the offset value is 20, which has been mentioned in the instruction as a constant value. This is one way of using the index addressing mode. The another way is also true. Instead of offset as a 20, I can write the offset as a 1000 and R1 content as a 20. So what happens? The same instruction I'll use. R1 is considered as an index register with a value as a 20, and X defines the offset value, which is also called as displacement value. And here I am declaring X value as a 1000. So with this example, add 1000 R1 in bracket comma R2. The effective address is obtained by adding the content of R1 with 1000. That is 1000 plus 20 is equal to 1020. So but same memory location is accessed. The content from this memory location is brought to the ALU and added with the content of R2, and the result is stored in the R2 register, assuming R2 as a destination operand. Now coming to the next addressing mode, base with index addressing mode. Base with index addressing mode, two registers are used to hold the effective address of the memory location, and one register we call it as a base register and another register is called as index register. In base with index addressing mode, the content of index register added to the base register, which is the part of the instruction to obtain the effective address of the memory location where actually our operand is situated. Base register part of the instruction holds the beginning or a base address, usually we call it as a base. The index register holds the index value, which is always positive, and always make sure that base remains same and the index changes. When the base is added to the index register, the resultant number we call it as effective address of the memory location where actually the data operand will be placed. Consider a representation for an base with index addressing mode, a constant with the two register Ri and Rj. Ri is considered as an index register, Rj is considered as a base register. The effective address is obtained by adding Ri plus Rj plus X. So Ri is index register, Rj is base register, X is a constant value. With the instruction format, and consider an example, add 20 of R1 plus R3 comma R2. Here R1 acts as an index register and R3 acts as a base register. The content of these two registers are added to generate the, so added with the constant value 20 to generate the effective address. You can say here index register R1 is nothing but 1000, considering the R3 value as a 0500 and constant value is added, whatever the resultant, that we use the effective address of the memory with where the our first operand data is present. That will be added to the second data which is stored in the register 2 and the result is stored back onto the R2. A simple example here. I have considered R1 value as 1000, R3 value as 0500, R2 consisting of CC, and this is a code memory where our instruction is stored and it consumes number of memory location based on the size of this instruction. And consider the first memory location address as a 000. Then R1 as an index register, R3 as a base register, both are added and a constant value 50 is added to generate an effective address of 1550, and this 1550 memory location is accessed and the content of this is added with the content of R2 to generate the result, that is EE, which is stored back onto the same R2 register. Coming to the next type of addressing mode, that is a relative addressing mode. So far we have discussed about the index addressing mode using the general purpose register. Instead of general purpose register, if a program counter is used to hold the address of the memory, then such a type of addressing mode we call it as relative addressing mode, and it is represented as X into PC in a square bracket where X is a constant value and PC, the program counter, holds the part of the memory address. This indicates that the memory location is X byte away from the location presently pointed by the program counter PC. Since the memory location is identified relative to the program counter, the addressing mode is named as relative addressing mode. This type of addressing mode is commonly used to specify the target address in the branch instruction. Now coming to the last two types of addressing mode, which are called as additional addressing modes. The two modes of addressing which are useful for accessing the data item in successive locations in the memory are auto increment addressing mode, auto decrement addressing mode. Auto increment addressing mode. The effective address of the operand is the content of the register specified in the instruction. After accessing the operand, that is the address, then the content of this register is automatically incremented to point to the next memory location, that is the next item in the list, and it is represented as Ri in the square bracket with a plus symbol. Here the plus symbol indicates the auto increment by 1. Taking example of add R2 in the square bracket plus comma R0. Here it indicates that the content of R2 is accessed as a memory address, and then it is incremented by 1, and that to act as an effective address of the memory location. I have taken another example. Move R1 in the square bracket plus comma R4. Here R1 content acts as an address which is incremented by 1 because of the plus sign, and overall value whatever we get will represent the effective address of the memory location where our first operand is situated. Just to take an example with the pictorial analyzation, I have considered a code memory. Here my instruction add 20 in a square bracket R1 plus R2 is there. So I've used the R2 as an index register. The content of this is brought to the ALU and it is incremented by 1. Though whatever the value we get, that acts as effective address, and content of this memory location is accessed and added with the content of R0 which is 88, and after executing result is stored back onto the R2. So another example here, move R1 in a square bracket plus R4. Consider the R1 as an index register